Hello there, and today I'm going to give you an honest review of the hyped up Forever Skies. And I had to add that part about the hyped up because, yeah, honestly, it is. This game is very basic. It feels like the code in this game has not had even a once-over, basically. It's just cut and paste from a whole bunch of other games and put together as fast as possible and stamped out for production for cash grab type of thing, and then hyped up by its people and paid by people, advertisements, to say, hey, this is unique, different survival experience, and this really doesn't have nothing much to do with survival. It is a run around and explore, and it's basically an adventure game. You run around, you find these places, and you collect the certain items that you can collect, and that is it. You use those items to help upgrade your ship and research your stuff, and that's basically it. So you're basically running around on your hot air balloon. Let's go out here and take a better look at the balloon right there. So your basic balloon, your basic, expand it and upgrade it, and then of course it has to rain all the time. I just got finished a storm. That's why I started the video now, because I just got finished a freaking storm, and there's no saving and loading in this game. It's just quit and save. That is it. And you got your basic chest and your resources. Chests are pretty limited, stuff like that. But yeah, let's show you what the survival is like in this game. Go to your fabricator, do a lure. We'll build up a lure here. There you go. Lure is done. We go to our little thing right here. We'll put the lure in. Yay. I got an automatic one. It's upgraded. Before you got to do this manually. And then here's the water. So there's some dirty water collected. We'll just collect that from our rain collector. We'll go over to our purifier, collect the clean water, put the dirty water in. There's our boiled food right there. So we'll wait for this thing to catch up and collect resources while we're at it. While we're waiting for that thing to collect, we will try and collect these floating debris. There's two different kinds. The synthetic kind, the polymer kind, or whatever, synthetic. There you go. Just get in range. Yeah, synthetics. And then there's metal flying around too. So yeah, I don't know how balls of metal fly around, but eventually we'll see one. Maybe if they get close enough, depending on their flight path at this given time. Yeah, I don't really see any. But you can move this thing to another location on your ship if you want. But yeah, there's a floating metal piece right there. Yeah, you sit there and collect it. So I should move it over here and collect it because this is where the main pathway is. But yeah, you do that. Oh, there it goes. I caught my moth. You catch your dust moth. You cook it up. There you go. Cook it up and boil it up in some water. There's some more water for you. Boil away. Let's go eat this guy and then drink some water. And then we're good to go. And I survived. So this isn't really survival. Every game is a survival game. If you think this is a survival game, that's up to you. But to me, yeah, just an adventure game. At best, this game to me is like a 4 out of 10 because it's very limited. Now, let's talk about the story. Or let's talk about some of the annoyances first. This is your map, by the way. This is your multiple choice of go to point A, go to point B. You have multiple point A's and multiple point B's and multiple point C's, and that maybe multiple point D's, and that is about it. It's the same shit, different pile on these little towers that you go to, and you fly around on your balloon and go from these points, which is the same stuff, which is basically you're going to search the same thing over and over again to get the same resources that a little place like this would have. There's like 3 or 4 different variations of these smaller towers, and same maybe less with the bigger ones, that type of stuff. And then eventually you get to the story part where you have to go to basically, I think it's just 4 waypoints. That's it. And then on the 4th one, it's an elevator going down underground, and then under the mist right here, where you got to worry about oxygen as a thing, and it's back and forth with low oxygen supply until you can actually research some of the stuff that you find down there. And then eventually you get to a place where you think there's going to be combat and action, but they put a big shield up in there and say, hey, this is as far as the story goes right now. Have fun just going around to the same stuff over and over again and collecting those resources that are only in that one spot because you can't farm them and build up your own. You can't create them on your own type of thing in their limited supply, as an adventure game would have. So yeah. This is basically exploration adventure type of a thing where you actually do some base building, limited base building on your air balloon as you fly around. And there's no third person in flying around, as there should be, even though I don't like third person. But yeah, you can't, as you can see, I can't see anything that's going on here from my sides. Like if I want to land my ship, how do I see? How do I land this thing on a little spot I need to land on? If I wanted to land on over here somewhere to get onto some little parkour spot where I can't reach, like there could be a little thing sticking out here with some resources, which happens, to try and get that helium that you need to actually expand your balloon. And come on, turn a little bit more. Get over here. Let's go over here and then land. You start off, your ship is very slow until you upgrade your engines, which you can't do because you got to upgrade your lift, which you can't do until you find helium type of a thing. So it's gated in that way with a lot of farming. You're going to spend a lot of time at the start just going catching your moss and getting water collected and dealing with that, and then you're going to run around and collect your resources, your whole 2 resources, which is the building blocks for most of the stuff right now. And since you can't really farm anything else or have any other type of collectors besides water and food, so you can't really make some of the other ingredients on here that you need a lot of. If I can show you that stuff, you got the polymer, you need lots of stuff, you need plant oil, and so far there's only one way to get plant oil, and that is find barrels of oil basically and then convert it. Same with the epoxy, that's underground stuff to actually make those, or find them all over the place on these little floating islands. So that is the game so far. You have no combat yet. They fake you out with some combat. So having that crossbow was useless and waste of time so far. You run around with a knife and cut some vegetable stuff and get some foods, but you can't grow anything. So you can't grow any food yet. There's no farms and stuff like that added in. So unless something they will probably add in later is growing this stuff and maybe seeds if they actually want to expand their game and make it more complex. But right now it is very basic, 2 basic ingredients, and then run around and land on these same islands over and over again and collect the same resources over and over again. Just go to the flashing lights. That is the game so far. If you take away the slow balloon, the very slow balloon rise from point A to point B, and you take away all the time you spend just doing the simple things like I just did, collecting food and water and standing here for half an hour collecting enough resources to actually do anything. You take away that, you got less than 3 hours of gameplay in this game so far. That is basically it. Unless you want to spend all your time going to these places and building up your balloon for no reason. Besides, self-gratification, that is the only reason to play. And to top it off on this stuff here, you have the voice acting, which happens every time your food or your water or anything goes below 75%, they talk. And then it goes below 50%, they talk and they warn you. And then 25%, you can't turn that stuff off. Lightning storms, they tell you, you can't tell there's lightning storm, all the stuff. It's the annoying stuff that all these other games like No Man's Sky and Subnautica does, that they don't fix and change and people don't want to hear. Just put a simple option to turn the shit off or make it so 25%, then you warn me. Simple. Done. You're not going to be annoying the crap out of me. And also to make it even worse is if your food and water is low enough and you drink some water, they tell you, hey, your hydration's going up. Duh, I just drank some water. I know. Thank you, Captain Obvious, for other annoying verbal commands that happen all the time. So yeah. That kind of stuff can be tedious, and I haven't even played this game that long, and I'm already annoyed with that kind of stuff, because I think that kind of stuff is just basically piss poor crap, and they need to stop copying the bad stuff of these games like No Man's Sky, which I've been playing again recently. So yeah, they're copying the bad stuff on those type of games and putting it in their game. I don't understand it. It's taking a step backwards. It's just like No Man's Sky. Take 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards every update, type of thing, and they don't need to do it. It's just their stupidity playing out there because they have no freaking clue what they're doing on their stuff. So yeah, this is what this game feels like. It doesn't feel like you're going to get much bang for your buck even after these updates if they actually do it, because it feels to me like it's mostly a cash grab. Pump it out as fast as possible, hype it up as much as possible, get as much people to fooled into all the hype and say it's different and you're going to have a nice long experience, and you don't. And the next thing they're going to be doing this thing with, they warn you at the end, is, I call it a warning, is that they're looking into making this a 4-player co-op multiplayer game. Oh my god, you never go multiplayer in games like this, where you search around. It's just going to make this a whole lot slower and stupider, but they want to do the skins and stuff like that, I bet. The whole, hey, let's do skins and other effects so we can get people to, pay more money for it, and we're going to go ahead and try and do that on a game which doesn't really support it, and welcome to the 2 years later update, just like Valheim, which ruined the game, in my opinion. It got, you wait 2 years for an update, which never happens, and then when it does happen, is piss poor stuff that you can't see, and which took the worst part of the game and made it worse. Basically, I didn't like that update. Obviously, for that game, this game is not really an adventure game. I mean, this game is an adventure game to me, and an exploration game, and not a survival game. And I'm still looking for a actual decent survival game, but I can't call this one one of those. It's neat for the whole 3 hours you play it, but that is it so far. It's just way too early to be out. They shouldn't have done that. It's bad judgment call, in my opinion. Bad judgment call to try and make this multiplayer, and they're not going to listen to reason, and they're just going to go ahead and do that anyways, even if they actually, somebody posts this video to their webpage and shows them this stuff and their honest opinions about their game. nobody's going to believe it. Nobody's going to sit there and speak up and do it, because they never do. They want their money, and that is basically money talks, and their bullshit keeps on going. So yeah, go ahead and support this game some more if you want. It's always your choice. Try and enjoy it. Wait for updates, but yeah, I'm not going to be holding my breath for this game to get good in any regards. It's kind of neat having a nice airship flying around. I was waiting for a game like this, but this is just it's too little. It's just way too little, and a lot of the stuff not really done well in it. So, some of the good things in there is that you actually can pick up and move your stuff, so that is nice without any much of a hassle, and you get most of your resources. I think you get all your resources back if you change out your ship and stuff like that, and delete some of these things and put them in other places. But that's my review. So thanks for watching, and that's my honest opinion of this game. I hope you take that into consideration for my decades and decades and decades of experience playing these games. I hopefully listen when I say same shit, different pile. You know what I mean. Hopefully you understand that, and you don't waste your money on this yet. Maybe in a year, if it's for like $5-10 in a year, maybe that's when it should be out, and maybe when there's actual more storyline to it, and you're actually not don't consider this a survival game. Consider this an adventure exploration game where you can modify your means of travel. That is basically it. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.